Joining me now, Karl Rove, former Deputy Chief of Staff to George W. Bush, also a Fox News contributor, and Chris Stirewalt, who is in the House, Fox News politics editor. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you. Good to have you here. Chris, let me start with you. Tell everybody at home what they need to watch in Virginia tonight.
Well, basically, Virginia's two states. We took the best part and put it in West Virginia. But what we left behind, you have Northern Virginia, which is basically a small, very affluent northeastern corridor state. Donald Trump lost it by 20 points or something. And then you have the rest of Virginia, which is about, I don't know, 2/3 of the vote in the state, is a southern state that if you took out Northern Virginia, Donald Trump would have won it by about 3 points, about the same margin that he won North Carolina. So now you have a race between the voters in these two states who can get the turnout going tonight. So we'll be looking at those exurban counties like Loudoun and Prince William and the far outskirts. Those are the swing counties. And then we're also going to be looking for, can Republicans turn out in less populous rural counties like they did for Donald Trump?
Yeah. Karl, what do you think about Ed Gillespie's strategy so far in this race? He distanced himself from the president in the early going, and, you know, as early as today, as late as today, I should say, Make America Great phone calls were going out.
Yeah. Well, I'm not certain I'd say he distanced himself. What he tried to do is establish himself as a person with a vision and a plan for the future of Virginia. And he's issued 21 position papers. He has highlighted those with events. He's talked in great detail about how he's going to cut taxes, grow the economy, reform state government, innovate. It's been an amazing campaign of substance, and that was to establish himself in earlier this year as a candidate worthy of being the governor of Virginia. So I'd say he spent more time on that than just simply trying to either glom onto the coattails of Trump in places where he's popular, or to do what Ralph Northam did, which is basically to make most of his campaign about how he was going to oppose Donald Trump in all things, whether they affected Virginia or not.
Yeah, you know, we have these new Fox News voter analysis numbers that we're kind of pouring over here. Let's put up one about the most important issue facing the state. Healthcare is this could be a national poll. I mean, this is what we see when we look at these numbers nationally, healthcare, and then the economy. So, you know, you never know, Chris, with healthcare, whether people want to hang on to Obamacare or whether they're really upset with Republicans for not overthrowing it.
I think we have a pretty good sign in Virginia, though, that the people who are most concerned about health care are Northam voters, I think, or are going to trend Democrat in that state. And this actually, that interest breakdown, this is why I like our new research tool so much, is that breakdown is reflective. This is why we care about Virginia so much tonight, not just because it's not important. It is important, yes, but we care about it so much because it looks a lot like America. It has a lot of the same demographic and ideological and partisan splits that we see in the country. Rich and poor, rural and urban, and all that stuff. And I think that's a lot of what you're seeing in America.
But Karl, obviously, President Trump lost in Virginia by about 5 points. This would be a huge upset if Ed Gillespie is able to pull this off tonight, right?
Absolutely, and that's why I'm not going to just look at counties. I think Chris had some good counties there. I'm going to be looking at the total turnout. In a presidential election year, 70% of registered voters turn out. In an off-year gubernatorial election, 40% do. But the variations in turnout by area or by county are going to be important to look at. We also need to look at the growing part of the state. Fairfax County, biggest county in the state, Northern Virginia, had 273,000 votes in 2009, 306,000 votes 4 years ago. Be interesting to see how much larger it is this year. It's a growing part of the state. And then I'm going to be looking at margins. It's not just whether they win them or lose them, but are they, first of all, are they poaching? Ed Gillespie is going to try and get more votes than a Republican normally gets in Northern Virginia. Northam is going to try and get more votes in the Virginia Beach, Norfolk area where he's originally from and where he has a military background. And then we're going to see running up the totals. Ed Gillespie is going to do this, I think, particularly try and do this in Southwest Virginia. If you look down at the coal country, the area south of West Virginia, it was won by Mitt Romney. But Ed Gillespie won it in his Senate bid in 2014, but he didn't get the margins that Romney get. And then Trump came and won that country just overwhelmingly. And the question is Ed Gillespie going to be able to get Trump-like margins in the southwest part of the state, unlike the Senate race where he became very
interesting.
Close, very close.
We got to go, but just pop up the Confederate monument number because I find this interesting. Virginia has been a hotbed for this issue. All of the Robert E. Lee statues and Thomas Jefferson stay up 63%. take them down 31%. So we'll see if that has any meaning when you look at the cultural side of this. Real quick, Chris.
That's how you get a guy from New Jersey to fall in love with his Confederate heritage. Ed Gillespie didn't know which side of the blue or the gray he really felt until I guess he was running for governor.
We've seen that happen with the Yankees.
Yeah, it happens
when
from time
people
to time.
like Hillary Clinton come to New York. Thanks a lot, Chris. Good to
You
see you
bet.
tonight. Carl, thank you very much. We're going to be watching
You
this
bet.
race throughout the course of this whole hour.